time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Beecham for the invocation.
Let us pray together, please. Gracious and good Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you this morning, and first we ask your blessings over a couple of our county family, Lord, for Tony and Linda, Lord, their son, and the situation that he's in, Lord. We know they have to make a very difficult decision this afternoon, Lord. Just ask you to be with them and give them the strength and the wisdom to do what's right, and the strength to carry it out. We just ask you to watch over them. We ask you to be with our county family, Lord, and Lord, we are thankful people this time of year, Lord. Just remember all that you do for us, Lord. Lord, the freedoms that we have and enjoy in this country, Lord, to gather and to do business the way we do, Lord. We just thank you for that. We thank you for our first responders, Lord. We pray that you would keep them safe, Lord. You would keep them strong. Lord, I pray that you would bless us as we conduct our business this morning, Lord. We will do it through you and for you. We ask all these things in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thanks, sir. Go join in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Take your seats, please. This time we have a presentation we'd like to make, and to do that, I'd ask the IT family to come forward.
We're dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
This is something I'm used to. Hills of Tennessee.
Yes, sir. You don't have on the right. You don't have on the right uniform, Mr. Hampton, for when you're usually in those hills. Correct?
I came over.
Okay, good enough.
He was wearing blues.
All right. County of Wichita, Texas, presented to Samuel Rivera, Wichita County Employee of the Month, November 2019, in appreciation for outstanding performance, service, and dedication to Wichita County. Sam, we know how much dedication that has been. I don't know whether we went live in July or went dead. It's pretty painful living this way, but you have stuck with it along with the rest of your team, and y'all have done well. George, appreciate the people you brought in with part of your deal as when you were the Lone Ranger for so long and all that. But we do appreciate all of y'all, and I appreciate the recognition of Sam today. Anything you'd like to say?
Well, it's definitely been a roller coaster. Very roller coaster experience, you know, a lot of ups and downs, loops, and I think the only thing it hasn't done is slow down.
No.
So, feels like a few times, you know, we have definitely went off the rails, but we've been with a great team. And it's an honor to work alongside a lot of really good people, really dedicated people that have went above and beyond with all of this, and I think we're getting there.
Okay.
One step at a time, we're getting there.
Well, some of the email I saw from Ashley to Philip looked like we didn't win all the battles last week, but we certainly improved our position in the total war. And so at any rate, we'll get there. And I talked to, oddly enough, 2 other county judges, and both said it's worth it in the end. So that sounded good to me.
Judge, I just want to say on Sam's behalf, no matter, you know, a lot of people, they crowd you up and they're hot when their thingamajig ain't coming up right. But Sam's got the patience of Job, and he bears with it, listens to him, keeps his calm, and moves right on down the line. So Sam, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the team you work for, and y'all doing a great job. And I know it's been a hard headache, but we'll get through it. So
Sam exemplifies customer service.
That's right.
Always. We appreciate you so much.
You know, George, we came and fed all of our people on the courthouse lawn that worked all night. And
Yes, sir.
you know what we ought to do when we get to a certain comfort level? We ought to have a celebration fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Off the courthouse lawn.
What you're saying is we're gonna have an adult celebration.
Any day now, right?
Yeah.
Any day now.
All right.
Thank you.
Sam,
But thank you
so
again.
much for everything.
Yeah.
See if you can get CJ in a tie.
Close.
All right. I'd ask now if we have any public comment, anyone in the audience wish to bring anything up at this time. All right.
Judge, I'd make a motion,
Go ahead. Before you do that on the consent agenda, we're gonna reword item 8, for that to be paid from the Tyler Odyssey overtime funds, and do that. 'Cause
on
that's
which number is that?
Number 8. Because that time they were doing that, they are working, Odyssey issues, and that's where we set that money aside, and, so it ought to be out of there. And then, second thing, to remove item 10. Because we're not gonna change that offer any, so we don't need to consider that again.
Okay, this is the one we put on before we had our meeting with our attorney.
Right.
So I'll make that motion, Judge, with
Okay.
the exceptions of the 2 items listed.
All right, sir, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, any comments on the consent agenda, anyone in the audience? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0.
On item number 7, Judge, do we
Yes,
have
sir.
retention? Do we have retention?
On item number-
Yes, these are substantial completion items,
Yeah.
it's not the entirety of the contract, these are like the boiler, chiller.
Substantial completion.
It's just those listed items, there are still items to be done,
Okay.
but,
I just wondered if we had a retention on the contract.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. That and a warranty period and all that, but what this does now, it allows those to start on their warranty period. But it's not the whole project.
Right.
All right. Okay. Item number 1 is review and approve the regular bills for payment.
Motion to approve.
Second. Man, you got the bid.
Any discussion, questions on the bills?
Too many of them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is open and take necessary action on bids for the road materials for the first half of 2020, indigent burial, cremation, and for janitorial supplies.
Now, Judge, if you would clarify that we don't use those remains for road material.
You know, but it might be interesting.
We also kind of run together.
We only had one bid.
All right, this is from, I'm gonna guess Falls. Falls Funeral Home cremation, and for an adult direct cremation, $634. For adult direct burial, which we haven't done one of those in a long time, is $950. And for infant services for direct cremation be $294, burials $850, which we tend to do the burial for children. For child services, same thing as $294 for cremation and $950 for the other. The other conditions, transportation as for the previous years, if they have to transport the body any unusual distance or anything, but that's has not been our case. So we have that only that one, and I just, do you all want to accept that or take it under advisement?
We could probably accept that bid. Falls has been supporting the county in that area for some years.
Second.
That'd be good.
Mr. Beecham, did you have any, you supervise that area, do you have any problems going ahead with that? Okay. Any comments on that? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Second item is,
These are janitorial bids coming next, Judge.
okay, and on the janitorial bids, we'll take those, we'll tell you who bid, and we'll take those under advisement. And the same thing probably with road materials.
This bid is from J Systems.
Okay. We received this bid from J Systems. They did not bid all items, but we'll take that.
Wilson.
And Wilson Office Supply.
Empire.
And Empire Paper.
Wagner Supply.
And Wagner Supply.
Wow.
Wagner?
Mhm.
Where they at?
They're on, right down the street, in Odessa, Lubbock, and Wichita Falls.
I've heard of Wagner Restaurants, but I didn't know they were here.
Yep. Okay,
Judge, we had 9 total bids in road materials,
okay.
and the first one is from T&G Construction.
Okay. They only bid a limited area in the asphalt products, okay?
What is
Yeah,
it?
that's-
Spreadsheet together.
Well, but that's really interesting, because the rest of the first 6 months of the year, the purchases, so.
Second one's Big City Concrete.
City?
Big city, not McGardle. And they only bid the crusher run materials and screenings.
The next one's from Wright's Asphalt.
And they bid primarily emulsion products, nothing. No. No, they bid the cutbacks, the other asphalt products. And they did bid emulsions, yeah, okay.
The next one, Judge, from Ergon.
And they did emulsions only.
Vulcan. Very good.
Like so. Okay, they only bid coal lay mixed materials, and they both FOB and delivered. And,
The Lisi brothers there, Judge.
all right. And they bid both FOB for majority of the aggregates we had on the bid out of one or the other plants. Okay. With varying prices for location.
Zach Burkett.
Well, they did an excellent job on I-44 between Wichita and Burke Burnett. That road is awesome, smooth.
And the catch fence is doing its job.
I think we counted 9 different places that automobiles have
Hit the
that
fence.
catch fence.
That's right.
Man, that's,
Between Burke
Yeah,
and Wichita.
I noticed that
They put the
yesterday.
guardrails up, and through the weekend, they'd be taken out. They put them up, through the weekend, they'd be taken out. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, how many times?
How many
And
times
we hadn't
it's
even
been
had an
hit?
ice storm.
No.
That's what's incredible.
So's ice cold drinks.
I'm wondering if, TxDOT's got enough budget to keep that repaired.
Well, hopefully they're,
This is asphalt fuel.
you know, I just want to say that, one of the things that always see when our guys get out there and you see an accident, be careful about cutting that cable, thinking you're gonna get a vehicle free from there, you're gonna get cable wrapped from there. That's high tension stuff.
It will go, it will be bad.
Yeah,
It's been unintentioned in a place or two.
yeah, and that's okay.
I mean,
but
is that just people running,
That's
semis
people
running
running
over it?
into
it.
I couldn't
Not
believe it.
necessarily.
I couldn't believe it.
Like we counted 9 different places that some type of vehicle hit that cable.
Really gotta wake you up when you
They
hit
just
that,
put it
it's
up.
like 75.
Hey,
But you know, guys, if we'd have had that cable up there, when our little girl from the tax office
might have saved her
might have
life.
saved her life.
Good have.
Roker Asphalt.
Roker. Could have, that's true.
That was pretty devastating for our county family.
It's kinda like the one we've got right now. That's just,
Asphalt
Yeah.
fuel supply.
okay.
We did get to talk to her.
Rooker bid,
And
the
the first one was,
emulsion and the cutbacks,
that's the
so.
one we're missing. What was the very first bid, Judge?
In that group, it was from T&G.
TNG's. Okay.
Okay. I'd ask that you take the janitorial and paper supplies and road materials, that we have a motion to take those under advisement.
So moved.
Give Willie something to do over the holidays.
Any comments, anyone in the audience? Yes, sir.
Introduce myself, the ones of you don't know, I'm Mark Ellis with Zach Burger Company. Willie, we made it tough for you, we bid the stuff FOB and delivered to all y'all sites.
Good.
To try to do anything we could to help
Great.
y'all keep your money in Texas.
And we appreciate you being here and introducing yourself and talking to
I
us.
wish you'd introduced yourself before I bragged on you.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm from the aggregate division, that's the paving boys out
Yeah.
there, so you can brag on the guys in Wichita Falls.
I grew up in Graham, so I milled all them Zach 2, 3, 4, all of, you know, so, good guys.
We have a district seal that has some pre-coated aggregate left over from last year's district seal. If any of y'all are interested, I think TxDOT's gonna make them move it somewhere. I don't know if that's something y'all will have any interest in, but sometimes in other areas, those guys do sell that to the county at a reduced rate.
Is that Millings?
No, sir,
No.
it'd be pre-coated aggregate, seal coat aggregate.
Okay,
Bridge project.
yeah. Oh,
If y'all have any interest, like I
Yeah.
said, let me know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hey,
Mark.
we
go
do
ahead.
have interest, would you leave us a card, because we're in the middle of a bridge project?
And I've got use for it as well on my precinct.
Well, I asked first.
What if I give you all?
Yeah, that's a good
That'd
idea.
be good enough.
Thanks.
For 3-year-olds at Christmas time.
Email me if you would, email me.
Now, that ought to be some good stuff to put on that bridge.
It could be, it's something we ought to look at.
How much do you think there is of that, Mark?
Up in this area, I've heard around 3,000 tons.
Oh, we will be,
Yeah, well, I don't think we really want that
I think they had a bust on some of their plans, and there's a little more rock left than they anticipated.
Look,
last
you
year.
put it out with rock box, Mark?
Yes, sir, just like all what your normal seal coat.
now, would we have to go through Texas?
You would go to the contractor,
Okay.
but I have no problem putting you in contact with him or vice
Yeah.
versa. So, TxDOT makes the contractor get that off of the roadway.
Yeah.
At the end of each year, those little dumps that are everywhere, and it's pretty common in a lot of counties that they do, like they sell that to the counties or something, that sometimes they'll let you go get it. I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
it's got pretty good shelf life, doesn't it?
It's got good shelf life, yes, sir. If you can just keep the grass out of it,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
But what you gotta check on that, now if I'm going way back in my life span to this, but with that pre-coat, you don't put down the same amount of oil you did put down, because you already got your rock coated.
Exactly.
Now,
yes,
does
sir.
it take a hot, or can it use an emulsion with
Most
it?
everybody does a hot apply.
That's what I thought, so that'd be the,
You would definitely wanna talk to your asphalt people
Yeah.
about what asphalt they would suggest, because you would shoot a different asphalt with a coated rock than you would.
Oh.
I mean, not that you
Yeah.
can't,
A different oil than what we're putting down on chip seal?
yes, sir.
yeah.
As a norm, they might
It would
suggest a
be
different.
thicker or
oil.
thinner?
It's, well, it's a cutback oil you're gonna be using, right? And so it's gonna go down hot, it's gonna be 300 degrees going down. So if y'all are thinking about doing that, you need to look at somebody in the distributor business to do that for you, because you're taking on a much more complicated process and the, and
Well, that's
and the danger of that.
It lays so well.
It does.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
The rock being coated already has asphalt on it, so it is attracted to the asphalt, just tends to stay on the road a little better.
So
That's
Mark-
why you see TxDOT use it. Of course, they have a lot higher speed situation than most of y'all do, but
So,
still.
Mark, if you was in Wichita Falls, who would you call with distributor, work if you lived here and needed to grab somebody?
Probably in this area, Bud Freeman shoots some pre-coated aggregate.
Out of Vernon?
Out of Vernon, yes, sir. He's the only one I can think of right off. But Bud does a lot of work, I believe, for the city of Wichita Falls.
Some course to look at.
But
Thank
thank you, Mark.
Mark, just, when I was 14 years old, my dad built that first plant out there, and then we built the plant in Graham.
Really?
Yeah, so go back a long ways with that
Long ways back.
particular operation, yeah. Yeah. Okay,
How many Zacks are there now? 5, 6?
We have Zach Burkett, the fourth, which would be president right now.
Yeah, but they've got more than that.
Yes, sir, there's, Zach Thompson, which would be Zach's son, which is, I don't know, probably 10 or something like that.
I went to school with Zach 4,
Did you? Okay.
out from Graham. Yeah.
Okay.
was that like in Duplicity?
No, different.
Oh, okay. All right. Mark, thanks for being here. Okay, let's take, we didn't vote on that, or at least I don't have it written down, on taking these under advisement for up to 2 weeks. Willie, does that give you enough time? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 is to discuss and consider take action to authorize IT Department to purchase a Dell Precision 5530 with all accessories in the amount not to exceed $2,100 to be paid from 100.412.3152 or line determined by the county auditor. Ms. Colt.
This is a replacement laptop for Joey Kosa in the DA's office. His laptop has been back to Dell over the last couple of years about 4 or 5 times. They repair it and then seems to have DVD issues of some kind. It is out of warranty now, and he's just continuing to have problems. It's been reloaded and it just doesn't function for him like it needs to.
Motion to approve as presented, Judge.
Okay.
Times 2, second.
And Ash, thank you for, I mean, this is Cadillac, I didn't know the speed of which technology changes, but this one that I'm on here is just daylight and dark advanced from my little one, love them both, but it's just. so-
Commissioner, we're going to have to upgrade you to keep up with it or not?
Yeah, I need to be.
Be my case. Okay. All right. Any other comments, anyone in the audience? All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Watts, a second by Commissioner Harvey to approve the item as stated. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank y'all. Item 4 is discuss, consider, take action to approve the purchase of 5-pound ABC extinguishers at $54.95 each and 11 10-pound ABC extinguishers at $89.95 each from Fire and Safety Equipment for the Lindeman Building for a total cost of $1,264.20 to be paid by Transfer Department 524, Lindeman Building Supplies and Operations Budget, appropriate lines as determined by the County Auditor. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge, we discovered that all the fire extinguishers in Lindeman, the last time they were inspected was back in 88.
88?
88. So this is, will get us back up.
Well, those sure been good ones
They've
then.
been really good ones. Since we haven't needed them, let's hope we don't need them.
So
Yeah.
Mark, you can recertify those, $15 each. Did you know that? Okay, and every year, every year you have to have your, fire extinguishers tested and inspected and a new tag put on there. Whenever you have a inspector come, whatever, they check your fire extinguishers. Now, if you have a shortage of fire extinguishers, which you have to have a fire extinguisher supposedly in a warehouse area like what we're talking about.
Well,
You have to be able to see one somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
you have to have so many.
Some of this was to take care of some deficiencies.
Yeah.
Some of it was replacements.
But all those 88 model deals, if they still got a green deal, you can take them to Don, and Don will recertify them.
Don was the
Well,
one that walked.
Yeah, and what I do, Mark, is I call Don and have him come out and go, he just went through the whole
Oh,
precinct
that's-
barn
Yep.
and all my equipment and everything, and I re-update them and do it the same time each year.
You gotta do it every year.
This is based on
Okay.
Don's recommendation.
Yeah,
so-
good deal.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
second that motion.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we do.
Any comments, anyone in the audience?
He's a good help.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, discuss and take action to approve Amoresco contract change order number 1, reducing contract amount by $164,563 to cover the expense of repair damaged servers and replace actually damaged servers, and remove 13 programmable thermostats from the project, resulting in costs of $3,613,721. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge, this is to make us whole on the damage on the flood area on the servers. This is to replace the equipment only. And there were also 13 programmable thermostats that were called out in the project that were not needed, so this is giving us credit back on those.
And so, the project results, Mark, are you saying after the deduction it is 3.6?
Yes, it would
And-
reduce the contract to 3.6.
Because that's $500,000, at least $500,000 more than, you know, what we originally discussed for Amoresco.
Well, and in the next,
I mean, we've done change orders across time, but,
No, this is the first change order that we've done.
well, I know, but Amoresco, in their initial proposal to us, we were somewhere, just south of $3 million after all said, all done. Now, I don't know if that's applying the credits from Encore and, if this number is exempt from it, but I didn't know if boiler changes or any of those things have upped the number. I just want us aware of it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just,
The number hasn't changed from the contract. We're still at the contracted number. This is the first change we've had to the contract.
but what about the boiler issue that we,
It was in the contract.
No,
The boiler, replacing the boiler,
Yeah.
it was in the
it was
contract.
in the contract.
y'all all saw $3.6 million in your mind?
Well, I'd have to go back and look, but
I
it was
just
$3 million.
saw $3 million in my mind. Willie, do you remember?
Recall 3.5 million.
Okay, well, it just may be mine.
Nancy, can you pull that up, that Amoresco contract, see what that original, what we,
We haven't
Yeah, I didn't think we'd had any.
I just didn't know whether we had done some tweaks to the system.
I think, Jeff, the discussion was, we were talking about permanent improvement fund, and we always called it 3 million, just in the discussion phase.
Yeah, yeah, it says 3.7 here.
Yeah, well, when we go down the list and mark off
Okay.
what was coming out of that fund, I think the term 3 got.
I just didn't know, I just didn't want it to get away from us. And
No. But the 3762 in the auditor's suggestion to us on changing one down the line there.
Well, in the next line, you're fixing to raise it by another 12,000.
Do we need to,
Yeah.
do we need to, is there a tweak to that needs to come from the email?
There's a $50 or $1,155 tweak that I'm unsure of right now. I see where we had approved the payment, but I didn't get this in time to go investigate it completely from the CNI. If my memory serves, we had CNI make some repairs to the.
Yeah, I didn't think those two were related.
They were quasi-related, but it wasn't within the scope of Amoresco to cover that, so I don't know
Okay.
why we approved it that way. So, we can always come back and put that in.
Yeah.
Something
Right.
otherwise, but right now, my motion would be as stated, and cover
Okay.
or for five.
Okay. So your motion then is to modify it to be in accordance with the auditor's suggestion on it?
No, with that, remove the 1155.
And remove the 1155.
I'm unsure of it, Judge. I didn't have time
Okay.
to find out more details on that. 'Cause in my mind, that was outside of scope.
Okay. All right. Okay, is there a second?
Second. So we're basically stating that we're reducing the contract amount by 164,563?
Correct.
Okay.
That makes us whole on the servers and gives us credit back on the programmable homesteads that we did not do.
So, to discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve Amoresco contract change order number 1 of $15,000 to remove 13 programmable thermostats, resulting in a revised net contract of 3762919.76, as approved in prior court orders. Water damage related cost caused by Amoresco of $149,198.76 will be credited against the revised net contract cost. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that, but that number, the 149,198, we'd have to reduce that by 1155, so it would be back to the same number. 'Cause
Well,
that 1155,
Increase it, you mean?
No,
it would decrease it.
it would be decrease it.
It's a decrease.
His feeling is that 1155 got picked up, shouldn't have been picked up and put in that original, put into that.
1155 is $1,155, right?
Yes.
Not 11,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right,
$1,155.
okay.
It has to do with quarter 19.1028,738 from CNI Electronics.
So we're reducing the contract cost, because they're reimbursing us this way for the damages to the server, and getting us credit back on the programmable thermostats.
So that amount would be 148,043.76.
Correct.
Less than 1155.
Right. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5 is discuss, consider, take action to approve Amoresco contract change order number 2 to purchase of water treatment equipment and 1-year service agreement at a cost of $12,000 $80, resulting in an updated cost of $3,625,801. Is that going to hold up true to that other revised figure?
Probably approve the figure of 36,113,721 previous, just like it was stated.
Yeah,
Fine, yeah, so.
okay.
That would be the add back of $12,080.
Curtis, what was your number, minus the $1,100?
It's
148,043.76.
And now you're going to add back to that,
148?
That would be, yes, that would be
credited amount.
the total damages amount, yeah.
It would not be 164?
No,
164 is the total amount for the agenda item, so that's the,
that had,
that's the three,
that's the thermostats. That 15,364 represents the thermostats. But what that figure in that email does not recognize is taking out the 1155 that the commissioner doesn't believe belongs there.
The email amount is 3.762,
Okay,
but what we have here is 3.613.
that was the original cost, 3762. You're reducing off of that the one,
Resulting in a contract cost of 3.615.
yeah,
So it's saying that this is gonna be our new number.
I don't think that's right. Nancy,
In essence, we're reducing our contract amount.
see if you can find that original Amoresco
We
contract.
got it.
No, do you? Okay.
What
What,
is the number on the original?
It's $3,778,284.
okay,
But Deb's email relates to the fact that there were previous changes, maybe not change orders, but some tweaks, and I thought there was tweaks too.
Okay, that's exactly what I got right there.
Concerning bowlers changing,
So if you just take the
Like
original
Mark-
contract amount minus that,
How-
gives you that.
minus, what is that and that? One minus the 164?
Yeah, minus
Yeah,
164
Right.
gives you the 3.61372.
correct. But then there's also another 1155 needs to come off of that. That's not,
but,
Okay,
no,
Look at
no.
the supporting documents.
but Mark, how is the piping changed outside when I come through the sidewalk at, you came out the vents and turned up, we still gotta put a muffler, but how was that? That wasn't originally put in the deal, so we did that a month ago or so, you
Well,
fixed
that's all within the scope of making the boiler work.
I know, but wasn't there added cost or?
No.
That's all within the
Okay.
scope of the project.
Gotcha.
No, the amount in the supporting documents, 3613,721.
minus the 11.
Minus the 1155.
That's included in there, minus the 164. And also minusing the $1,155,
Okay,
comes to a total of 3.612566.
1155.
Pardon?
If you remove the 1155, which is what we're doing, it's gonna increase those total contract costs to 3,614,677.24 on item 5.
What?
It's gonna raise that contract cost, total contract, because we're removing.
Yeah.
1155 was a reduction. not-
well, right, but that 1155 shouldn't have been in there at all, so the 160, I'm sorry, the 149, 198, you have to take away the 1155 from that, so it's actually, it's gonna raise that 149 by $1,155, because that deduction, it shouldn't have been in that deduction.
Well, it's not added, it's added 128.19, 1155 adds 149.
Right, okay, so we want to take that,
Yeah.
no, that's credits.
Yeah,
That's
there's
credits.
no-
Yeah, those are credits.
So that's gonna be a minus 1155 in those credits,
That's what I did.
okay?
That's gonna reduce the total damage amount to that 148 that we.
148,043. .76.
We're reducing the
So we're
total
reducing,
contract cost by $164,563, which is the parity bill, watch guard bill, and the programmable thermostats. So it's,
okay, yeah.
so the parity bill, the watch guard bill was $148,043. Programmable thermostat was $16,540. So $164,563, resulting in a revised contract cost of $3.613721.
3.617,
$3,613,721.
say the last three numbers again. 7 what?
721, just like it's shown in pie.
Look at your thermostat cost there, and look at the thermostat cost here.
I don't know where that cost comes from.
Well, that's what we're trying to work off this sheet.
That sheet is not from me, that's sheet.
From the auditor.
office.
Well, she's usually right, we're usually wrong, usually.
This is
Okay,
the documentation for
Amoresco
Amoresco. They're giving us $16,500
for the program, okay. Judge, why don't we, table this until we can, get our math right?
Might be a good idea. Okay, let's take no action on that item and then, because this,
We're trying to make
it's not gonna hurt anything.
payments on bills that are not correct according to this sheet.
Yeah, well, I don't know where that's gonna come from. Here's the number, it's in the document.
We can go ahead so we can move on with this, take this, and if we determine we need to revise that figure from what the commissioner, who is the project manager, has for that,
There you go. I like that.
then we can correct it next week.
Yeah, I thought we already taken action on that item.
We did on 5, we're on
So
6.
Six is to add that $12,080 back in to do the water conditioning. That would be my motion to accept.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
After all that, I don't have
Yeah.
to go through the county treasurer's report.
Yeah, well, that's where we are. Commissioner Harvey,
Got it?
Got it.
Okay.
you trying for Nancy's job?
No.
Okay. All right. Item 7, discuss or take action to approve the county treasurer's report for September 2019 and authorize county judge and commissioners to sign affidavit certifying compliance with local government code, section 114C, September 2019.
Shouldn't scare us, that's what you about.
I was not sure you got recorded.
You know, I could have the sheriff escort people the other direction.
Okay. We're gonna talk about September in the big sheet that you got, Nancy gave you, what you're looking at. What I'm giving you is.
It may be folded over,
Have I overlooked it? I'm not expecting myself.
it was item 7.
Starting getting sick. Starting.
I separated these this time, we're just gonna keep them separate. The first sheet I gave you is,
The bonds,
jail bond,
okay.
and,
No step for step.
I believe I got the big sheet.
You should have two of them, one this year and one last year.
I'm not saying it.
and then these are,
I think that's a little further.
things to remark snapshots of what you might find interesting.
Oh,
They're long, aren't they?
yeah, I think she has some.
You got an extra.
I know most of you guys do your own homework, but, just gives you an idea of
Lots of negative marks on this paper.
things that, well, in the September report, compliments of the auditor and TSG, we're 3% below where we were this time last year, so it's a significant decrease,
3%?
3%.
It looked bigger than that to me.
Actually, Judge should have got the $1.5 million. That will catch you.
Well,
Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me there's no sense. But we know better.
I know. There will be tonight.
Any questions on the September report?
I looked at the wrong,
What you're,
okay.
what you're looking at in this little snapshot that I printed off my investment screen is the fact that we've lost another 30 basis points to the market. So that 10-year treasury that we use as a basis of investing is 175 now, so that's, gives you an idea of, we're starting back down the ladder again. Hopefully we won't break a 1% again like we did 2 years ago, but what I printed off on my investment screen that I use was Jerome Powell is the president of the Federal Reserve Committee, and the U.S. budget deficit jumped 34%. Deficit jumped 34% in October alone.
Yeah.
So if we don't get off of this witch hunt in Washington and get down to doing some business up there, we're in serious trouble. And you say, well, why would you say it out loud? Well, we need to really start talking. This stuff can just go on and on. That Mueller investigation, by the way, cost us $42 million.
Unbelievable.
That's unforgivable, really. Yep. It's unforgivable. Okay, well, now you're talking about the end of October, and so here we are. And we just had 2 more bonds called this morning as I'm walking upstairs. So I don't know which ones they were, but you saw in that first sheet, 2 bonds called in October 10, October 28. Another federal home loan was called away in November the 5th. So we had some really nice investments is what they're doing, and the Fed is just calling back these are mortgage-backed securities, so the Fed's calling them back and reissuing the paper at a lower interest rate. And so you see the numbers on our jail bond stuff. I just broke that out so you could have a little easier access to it and not get possibly get it all jumbled up on your
What's you've mentioned several times, I have trouble grasping my mind, or not grasping it, I understand what you're saying, but I have trouble recalling it. When you see two things happen at the same time that's occurring, it generally means a sign of recession.
Oh, the inverted curves?
Inverted curve, yeah. So,
But that's already straightened out, so, recession is not necessarily on the agenda, but boy, our severe debt. Government, family, business, it all works the same. I mean, sooner or later, we gotta pay our bills.
Well,
And one of these deals is we got a tree sitting on everybody's desk up there with Canada and Mexico, and nobody's moving them. So that could seriously entertain some, not only money, but also jobs. So, anyway, you say, well, what's that got to do with Wichita County? It all floats down.
It does.
If we don't,
Has everything to do with it.
you bet, it sure does, Commissioner. Any other questions?
just so, one of the things we are considering, and Commissioner Beecham, I don't think you brought it forward, but we're looking at, we're waiting to get the prices. But we think with the money you managed to invest wisely and earn for us, we're gonna have enough to go ahead and finish out that pod that we were gonna leave blank. The money's there to do that. And we have to spend that bond money and its
Oh.
proceeds on the jail.
Yeah, Commissioner talked to me.
Okay.
And it'll never be less expensive.
We did pretty good on that.
Yeah. Those people who get to stay there will appreciate your efforts.
The, oh, no, Judge.
The Hampton Inn, we'll call it.
The Hampton Inn, I like it.
Only time they
Oh, my gosh.
only time they remember you is when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
We had somebody the other day that we had mentioned had graduated from Duke University. That's David Duke.
Yeah.
Been educated watching CNN.
Well, that was,
Block is one to finish out is actually block H in there.
Yeah.
schematic and things, so it would be the Hampton.
Yes.
yeah,
It's forever known as the Hampton Inn.
And the chief said he already got a suite for me.
yeah.
No plumbing, but,
You know, it's interesting, Bob, you talk about whether this has anything to do with Wichita County or not. I saw a very interesting program over the weekend talking about, I don't know if anybody's paid attention or not, but the energy sector has produced over its head.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're literally drowning in oil right now, and they're saying that this oil deal can slide back to $40 worldwide, which if it does, and there's already layoffs going on in West Texas.
Is that right?
But Phillips 66 has a big job advertisement for trying to hire people out,
There's
go out there.
That border,
Yeah.
that's different, that's the refinery.
Is that refinery there?
They're stacking rigs and laying people off, which is not good for our area.
No, it's not.
People don't understand that when the oil business is booming, even if it's not here, we have numerous machine shops and other things here in Wichita County that operate at full capacity to support that industry. And when those rigs and stuff don't run, it is extremely difficult for our local economy. And people you don't see it, just because there's not drilling rigs running outside of town. That deal affects us tremendously as far as our local payroll is concerned and the ability to pay taxes and all the other things that go with it. And it really does matter, so something to keep an eye on. It's great to have those kind of resources, the energy, and to be independent, which we basically are now, but it's tough on the Texas economy, that's for sure, when it gets cheap, and it's headed that way.
I've not read that.
We might be able to hire jailers again. We'll pick right up on that.
All right. Could I have action and to approve the report and authorize signing?
dies for lack of second. I'll second.
Oh, I thought it was second.
No,
Well, I will if it hadn't.
no, it has. Mr. Dead over there seconded it. Okay, any comments, anyone in the audience? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item 8, receive an update on law enforcement center and Amoresco projects. I don't know if we could afford any more update on Amoresco, maybe.
I think we spent enough time on Amoresco already, but,
Yeah,
that project just continuing along. We'll still have them on site for several months, getting everything situated as far as building balancing and making sure everything works, getting our folks trained on how to use everything. But we are coming in on all the stuff in that project. Law enforcement center, nothing really major other than we're getting roof put on. So they've got most of the decking down on the short side, on the west side of the jail buildings, but the decking on the actual cell side of the building pretty safe. Should be standing walls on the east side in 2 weeks. Yeah.
mhm. They are gonna shut down Thursday through Sunday, aren't they?
Right.
Okay.
Except for, I believe, the fire,
Sprinkler guys?
fire suppression guys that asked to work over the weekend. So, I think they'll be fine.
Okay.
So, it's moving along.
Well, thanks to Judge Gossam, Commissioner Watts and I got to meet Mark Perry, our project manager over our job out here, him and his wife, Stephanie, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very, very nice people.
Very
They were-
nice.
They were very proud to have won this job, and he was telling me that every time they build one, they try to get even better and better and better and better at it. And it gave me some confidence that we got a good team.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
team, all.
an attitude, I mean, it was really good.
Little minor hiccups here and there, but that's, for the most part, the job's doing its best.
Okay. We're down to, thanks, sir. We're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Okay. Commissioner Beecham?
Yes, sir. First, I congratulate all the kiddos that played in the Toy Bowl Saturday. It was the National League, American League, Chargers, Packers, Cowboys, Pirates, and Mustangs all played for the Toy Bowl championship. I don't know who all won. I went to some of the games, but we didn't get last year. Chargers won the first game. Pirates won the second game, and I didn't stay with the finale of the third.
Now, that is top of Texas football.
That's boys.
No, no.
Boys and girls, okay.
Yeah.
So I had to go support my Mustangs since I played in the Toy Bowl Mustangs
I heard
back
that.
100 years ago. So, and then.
Were they previously the Indians?
No.
Fellow Mustangs have always been the fellow Mustangs.
Yeah. They were wild as little Indians.
Yeah, we were.
Mark, you ought to ride with Barry on Friday, to watch the Hawks.
I'll be watching the Ryder Old Night game Friday afternoon at 2:00
Yeah.
on Springfield, Kentucky. First time ever in 60-whatever year rivalry that they meet in the playoffs. And it's my understanding in any sport,
Probably right.
it's like any sport. So this is a
Yeah.
historical day. I've already got my ticket. You can go online and get pre-buy your tickets because I imagine the stadium will be sold out. So-
Wow. Lee, where's work playing Friday?
They were in the toy bar.
On that couch. There at the Ryder Cow game watching.
River Creek Golf Course.
What was that big sign I saw? They they held up, you know, the sign where the team runs through.
Oh, yeah, tell your-
And it
tell your
says,
boyfriend,
tell your
girlfriend.
girlfriends you'll be available next Friday night.
Barry brought that up Friday, Dave.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, just a little thing we do.
Yeah.
So, no matter what, we'll still have a Wichita County team in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But we're gonna eliminate by one.
We're gonna at least-
Yeah.
Doesn't anything like season do.
But, yeah, congratulations to the Hawks too.
CU, I think, got beat, and, I know Winthor's still playing, Holiday's still playing, we got a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Still, so,
Holiday's still a Wichita County school too.
they are pretty,
Even though they're not in
Yeah.
Wichita County, but we have a lot of.
Part of them are, part of their district.
No, no, it's
out
all
there.
right.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
those schools that not in our
yeah.
county. we
Their
have
best
a lot of-
players are in Wichita County.
There you go. All of East one too.
Yeah. So, all right.
never.
Do you have anything else,
No, sir.
Commissioner Harvey, Commissioner Beecham, Finney's, Harvey? You've already had one shot.
We've lost a couple of, Burkmanette, people here lately. Dee Sykes, longtime member of Grace Ministries, was president of that for quite some time. He has passed away. Frank, Hammond has passed.
Your former police chief.
And your
Curtis Sawyer.
Colonel Sawyer, yeah.
My son Curtis, about 2 weeks ago at the rest home, I was up there visiting, and we sat and watched a little football and visited a little bit, and it was really a surprise for Curtis to pass on. I just thought he was okay, you know, I thought he was doing good.
Yeah.
So keep those folks in your prayers and those families. Lots of people gonna be traveling. My son came up from San Antonio for Thanksgiving weekend, and they hit a deer on the way up here. So this morning, about early, I got their vehicle over to the body shop and do that. But just be careful driving.
Yeah.
And be thankful every day, not just on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Oh,
Commissioner Moller? No?
December 6th,
Yes.
hospice.
Steve, we, have got really some good news that I think gonna help out. We just noticed over the weekend, my son and I were trying to get caught up on some of our farming duties. Guys, the wild hog population in Wichita County is
Unreal.
growing by exponentially.
It's growing by piglets.
It is, and, we have just, Wichita Saltwater Conservation District, along with, Will Barker County and Clay County, have been, awarded a grant to, have, some of the good automated traps and the, personnel to set them. And we're gonna try to reduce the population up and down the Red River some with those three counties working together. And I think we're gonna have 4 traps here in county, and we'll have the guy to move it around and to set it. It's the good, you know, you watch it on your phone, and when the hogs get in there, you hit the button and it traps them. So it's some really good stuff, and it's a federal grant that's coming. So we're excited about that. We have gotta get to work on that, guys. We're gonna get to work, we're gonna be out of business. It's
Thank
getting,
you, tamales.
yeah, it's getting tough, so.
Hog mollies?
Lots of tamales.
Yeah.
Not sure why anybody would wanna eat one of them nasty things.
Hey, they're good tamales.
Yeah.
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 I was shredding cotton stalks last night, hit one with the shredder. I mean, they're thick out there, and, so we're afraid our HX 15 shredder's gonna get banned now as being a lethal weapon, but maybe it won't be. Yeah, did you see that picture last night? He's loaded up on the shredder, he hit one with the shredder last night.
Does it prepare them well when it does that or not?
He it shreds.
Yeah, I bet so.
We're excited about the
Yeah.
grant, it'll be underway right after the first year, so if you've got the problem, be in touch with the NRCS office in Iowa Park, and they'll be running a log, and we're gonna get those things and move them around. And that's where you're the most effective, is when you get them going and you move them to new locations.
Yeah.
You can do some good, so I think that's gonna be a real good move. Other than that, it's just, road work continuing. We're trying to get some, mowing finished up and get things wrapped up before the holiday weekend.
Okay.
Be careful out there.
Yeah. Commissioner Watts?
I say amen to the hog deal. I'd windrowed some, tread up to get it out of our way to plow, and the pigs come in and just
tear it
annihilate it. And they pushing through. Now bear in mind, they're not climbing under barbed wire fences. They're coming into net wire.
You got sheep? pinching
And I've got
machine.
barbed wire across, on the ground, that's how I line up the T-posts, barbed wire on the ground, and net wire ties to it. They are coming underneath that, rooting until they get their nose under it, and then picking it up at different places, making them crawl holes. And they've gotten my Pyrenees spooked enough to not stay at night prowl.
What?
The Pyrenees are spooked of them because they're coming in great
Numbers.
groves.
Yeah.
And they'll chase them, so, anyway.
We had that, I saw a half mile of fence just this weekend.
Well,
They-
Custer
they
should
had
have too.
dug up
You
on
got
the
the
side of it, so that's-
superior numbers.
They
Yeah.
found something they liked and they just
Yeah.
plowed it on both sides. It's amazing.
Well, you ready for me, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Will, would you check on for me, Kenny had sent me an email this morning, we talked about the inmates helping on, installing the window at the tax office, and he was just,
Over here at the Sixth Street.
no, taking it from Sixth Street and moving it to the Electra, putting it in the wall. Now, there's things they probably can't do, like the electricity and the countertops, but that's okay, we'll handle that, but,
I saw an email this morning.
Okay.
That didn't go to you and say what they thought they could do without any problem.
okay. We just need it taken out and installed if that's at all possible,
Okay,
but.
we'll work with it.
And would you include, Kenny on that project too? Cause I'm needing him there to kinda, Kenny Gregory, that is in the tax office there. And
Okay.
that's Tuesdays and Thursdays, right, Nancy? And so, okay, just so you're aware of it. This week, we had I'm wanting to move forward with a program called Raken, R-A-K-E-N. We did a webinar, me and Debbie did, and watched some great stuff. So what it is, just to give you an overview, is every day Pete will record the projects in work. So let's say today, for example, on Lock Road, they're replacing the culvert. The project's called Lock Road Culvert. It's given a job number when it's created in the simplistic tab that you only talk to the phone. Pete's talking to the phone. So it creates the tab. The app has pictures that when you engage the app, then all the pictures that Pete takes of the culvert job, it installs right straight into the app. He quantifies the time spent on the job, the equipment on the job, if there was anything rented or subcontracted on the job. It's made for the basic guy with no computer skills out in the field, but then lets us create monthly report or an annual report of these summary of jobs with documentation about the job. And so it's a relatively inexpensive cost per user that we pay with support, like a $400 cost per annually on less than $400 per user, and I've only got a handful of users, but it's just a way to document and make accountability be more prevalent. For example, if Lock Road is the only job reported today, and it's reported to be a 4-hour job, but I want to see where the other 4 hours are. And so it helps me identify that, and it keeps, so changing the oil in the motor grader is a job in Raken. And it's changing oil in the motor grader, it's given a job number, and it's dated, and it has survey to fill out with it. All the notes from it are spoken to the phone, and it types in text. Deb will be able to see it and correct any misspellings or things before we complete the project. But it's just a good way to document going forward things that we're doing. So I'll show you that to y'all soon. Anyway, I just think it's something that everybody could utilize. The waterway project, not the waterway, but the county line road water problem. Joe has concluded or finished his deal, and Lee, I had questions on this. I've got blueprints. I'd asked Nancy to pull them off of the agenda. She already had it on there, and I thought I may have a conflict this morning, but I didn't. But I had her take it off. But Joe's put together what he thinks is the game plan. It consists of culverts, one large one and a smaller one, one 8-foot culvert, one 4-foot culvert that wise into this deal that pulls the water from the west side of the road and sends it to Adam Creek. And Pete was confounded by the plumbing, and it's pretty simplistic, but the project cost is probably, it's estimated to be under $30,000, but it does not contain any backfill on the parallel portion to Lee Road, but Joe's of the opinion it has cut as deep as it's cutting, and he wants to lay it there and let time fill it in. So I'm inclined to that, but he's projecting less than $30,000 project cost on doing this, and something I would move on the first part of the year then.
Okay.
But my question was, the life of the culvert, how does that compare to the life of steel if we weld this deal in there? Is it relatively the same?
Anytime you weld on something, you have a heat affected zone, okay, on both sides of the weld, depending on how hard you run. It goes anywhere from an inch up to 4 inches away from the weld, depending on, the weld. So when you have a heat affected zone, you can see it because it changes color. That's where it rusts first. So if you can get away from welding on something that you're gonna put in water, you're better off.
Well, I
You
can.
lose any protection that
Yes.
you've got on that material.
Well, but my question is, you know how thick that culvert's gonna be? I could buy a steel pipe twice that thick if I needed to.
Oh,
Can I get 50 years out of steel pipe and where I'm gonna get 25 out of culvert?
yes.
That's my
What
question.
about vinyl?
Well, I think you can only get a 60-inch in this new culvert that we're
That's
getting.
what Pete was telling me,
And
and
that's
that's
the
why.
biggest one they've got, and you need 96-inch.
Yeah.
Could you put two 60-inch in there and accomplish the same thing?
I could ask him.
So if you can do that,
You-
that would be the way to go.
Much easier
I
to handle.
requested that Pete get from WW and Borger, a quote on fiberglassing, get fiberglass pipe that's with this Y built into it, so it's it's a big joint 96, and it's got a Y coming off that goes 48-inch here, and, they could actually build that. I just wanted to get some kind of type of pricing against it, so.
What about Colner Railroad Yard? They used to buy those old tank cars
You bet.
that they had, purged
That's
them.
pretty steep, that's
That's,
pretty thick.
that's
wall
probably
material.
5/8, Lee, or something bigger, is it?
That's right,
Yeah.
but it's good stuff.
Yeah, good idea. Okay, so I'll be bringing that next week, where y'all look at that blueprint on there.
That's old Truman.
Yep.
Yep.
It's true.
Okay.
And what about we've got bids due on a motor grader and a backhoe before 10 a.m. December the 2nd in, here for precinct 4 is coming up. And, then lastly, when I went to San Angelo, I came across the wild wind horse up there when you go across the mountains from Abilene to San Angelo, and now underneath the wind, massive acreage of wind farms, now underneath it, massive acres of solar farm, underneath the wind generated farm. Now, it looks like sheep could probably manage underneath there, but cows too low for cows.
They won't let them. They don't.
But I'm talking literally thousands of acres of solar, panels up there, and it was mind-boggling.
There's one right on 287 headed from Amarillo.
I hadn't
It
seen
goes
it.
over.
Killers has got, it's a 2,500 acre deal, and I showed the judge a map this morning of a 2,500 acre installation in Wichita County.
And lastly, Judge, I'd just like to say happy birthday to Willie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All righty. Fantasy Lights turns on tonight at 6, and it will run now and through, I think we're back into the deal. It's going to stay on through New Year's Eve, and be on there nightly except when it's raining. And then the other thing is we will be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving holidays, and So that's it. Okay, I would like to announce we're going into closed session for briefing and discussion with the Wichita County District Attorney's Office regarding a counteroffer for an accident claim with Melissa Smith involving Wichita County Sheriff's Office vehicle. This meeting is closed pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney. The time is 11:20.